Hey everyone, how you guys doing today? I hope everyone's having a wonderful work week. For those of you who are on the working side and making your way over, I'm getting ready to give you a roadmap, people. So stay to the end because you're going to hear a little bit more. That's my little bird seed for you for today. So my question of for tonight to ask and answer for each and every one of you as you embark in your business journey, starting your new business, is should you how are you going to file? What's your structure going to be like, as we like to call it in business world? And so, should you set up an LLC or a sole proprietor? And what's the difference between them? What are some benefits? I'm going to kind of break those down for you because it is important that number one, you're legal. So we want to make sure that when you do enter into this world of entrepreneurship, that you are entering it in the right way. And I certainly do not want to steer you wrong or see you to put yourself in a situation which could come back to bite you. And it's never a good way of doing things. And I always want to also kind of preface it on this side. If you're going to go into business, do it the right way. And don't try and circumvent and go through the back doors and all that other stuff. Number one, you're just wasting time. You're probably putting way more energy into it than you ought to. And you need to go in it with the right intentions. And so the reason why I say that is there is this relationship that you're going to have with this man. It's going to be a new man in your life, and his name is Sam. And Sam don't play. And in old school, we call him Uncle Sam. And that is the USA tax IRS uh, person who will come and find you should you not choose to do the right thing with your money and paying taxes. So that's another part of this whole conversation. So let's get started and answering the question. So, how should you file? Number one, and if you haven't already done so, make sure you grab your journals, people. You always want to make sure that you're jotting things down and that you have them ready for yourselves to look at a little later, okay? So the first thing that you want to be mindful of is, what does your state require when it comes to starting your business? Each state is a little different, but you typically will need to what we call register with your state agency. It's usually the state secretary, or there may be a business division that you will make your filings with. That's number one. Then so in doing so, this is the information that you're going to need to bring to putting your filing in place when you file with the state. And so I want to break down for you the difference. You may have heard these terms before. If not, I want to break those down so you can get some clarity around it and make some decisions. So let's get started with some the differences. Okay, so one of the first things are, we call these business types. All right, so there are really 5 different business types that you can choose from to starting a business. Some of them are really intended for individuals, and then there are some that are intended for large organizations and corporations and things along those lines. So really going to be focusing really on the primary 2, which are LLCs and sole proprietors. But I'll reference the other ones just so you have a nature. So when you get big and large and blow up, you'll know exactly what to do. So we're working from that angle. So the first item is what from a business structure or business type, I'll keep it consistent, is what we call a sole proprietor. Now, a sole proprietor is basically you doing business as yourself. Okay. And for many of you, if you're service-based or even product-based for that, but mostly primarily for service-based, you choose this one at least to get started because number one, it's the very easiest to do. There may not even be very much in the form of paperwork to get started. But you may still need to do the filing with the state because you do want to set up a business entity for yourself, and I'll tell you reasons for that in a moment. And so in order for you maybe to have a business license in order to do that so that you can operate legally. And again, you want to do everything on the up and up. And so these are the things that you need to do. So for many of you, starting as a sole proprietor, just to get your foot in the door and get stuff in going is the best way to go. And the other thing is when you're doing a sole proprietor, it's for one person. You're not doing it as a partnership. It's not for you and your boo or for you and your bud. No, a sole proprietor is a business entity of one yourself. And that's why the term of doing business as yourself, or you can even say Yamilet Williams, doing business at, and you can have the business name if you'd like, but that's that part of the filing process that you would do with the state. So it's still you as an individual, but you may have a pseudonym or that you can utilize. So that's something that you will want to use when we go into our upcoming personal branding boot camp. Will be something that you'll want to apply to in that context. Now, from a protections and tax standpoint, um, one, you'll only get taxed once, meaning that when you file your personal taxes, it'll ask you, did you make any, did you have, because you would have had your filing identity in doing business for yourself, if there were any money that you made that you drew a profit from, you would just report that on your personal taxes. Okay. No separate filing that you'll have to do. You'll do your regular 1040 application, form when you've been filing, just like you filed last year, right? You did file last year, 19 to 20. Now we're getting ready for filing for 2020. So you will just file like you normally do. The only thing that will be different is that you will report any profits that you may have gained, basically any additional income absent and above your employment. If you got any other, your W 1099s and stuff, if you're working it as a consultant, okay? And then with a sole proprietor, here's like, I'll call a downfall, is that you are personally liable for anything that happens within the context of that business. So that means that people can sue you personally if anything were to happen, if you got into a business relationship or an engagement, a transaction or a contract or a product or what have you that you made and sold, someone could personally sue you. So there are no personal protections that you have when you do sole proprietor. Let me just make sure we put the screen. Okay. So there's something to be said around, is it worth doing? Now, again, for many of you, at least at the very, very beginning, and you're working really on your personal branding and you're moving things through, then you may find that starting as a sole proprietor works as, again, just to kind of get your engines kind of purring along. But you do not have any personal liability protections when it comes to a sole proprietor. But it's not to say that it's not a bad thing to do. It's just that way for you to, as I like to say, for when I was working inside of vocational education and I was working with students, it was an exercise in the process. And so you can have a sole proprietor and then you can always move up to the next game. And so what I used to do with youth was you all will file as sole proprietors doing business as in your name and take them through the process, because you always want to, again, have that proper footing and foundation and that you're getting exposed to what are the expectations and go through it so that you can have that experience so that when it comes time for you to go to the next business type, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So sole proprietor is really great if you're going in for personal branding purposes, which again is something that is really foundationary when we speak about starting your business, and it will be part of an upcoming boot camp on your personal brand, and you really want to take advantage of that. Okay, so sole proprietor is one option. The next option, going up the totem pole, as I like to say, oh, what happened to my screen? Oops, hold on. Oh, that's so weird. Just disappeared. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the next one is what we call LLC, which is limited liability corporation. There's also one for a limited liability partnership. And so you can do LLC or LLP, depending again on the type of business that you're going for. But we're just going to keep with an LLC. Now, an LLC, again, is just one step above a sole proprietor. And what makes this a benefit for most people is it's very flexible in how you can manage and run your business. There's no restrictions. You don't have to have like articles of incorporation. You don't have to have a board or anything along those lines. It still could just be LLC sole proprietor. Okay, so you still can operate as one, but you do have another benefit by doing so. But it does provide you with that flexibility from a management perspective in running your business. Um, and then it's unlimited, meaning when you have a limited LLC, you can have more than one person inside of that inside of that company structure as well. And that may be something that you would find necessary. So, if it's you and your brother or your sister, or you and your spouse, or you and your best bud, and you want to start up a business, then yes, you could do so together as an LLC, limited liability corporation. Now, there's also another thing that helps in the basis of both is, in this particular case, rather, is that you will not be uh, sued personally for business liabilities. So if you are, let's say, a dog groomer and something happened with the dog, then they cannot personally sue you. They would have to sue the business entity. And this is why it's important that you are filing with your state agency in either one of these formations or business types. Okay. And then again, you from a taxation perspective, it's pretty much the same. You can file your personal taxes. You can actually do two. You can do file personal taxes, and then there's another entity about from a business perspective, there's a line item. I don't go into much detail into the taxation parts because I'm not an accountant. And so I pay people to do those things for me. But financially, from a taxation standpoint, there are some benefits in how you can do all the writing off. And then there's some calculations, and they know all the good ways, and it's to save you money from not being taxed. So there's some benefits in you filing in an LLC formation. But it's still kind of minimal in that respect. A drawback is you do have to keep your filing with your state agency on an annual basis. What that means is that when you first file for your business with your state agency, you typically have to renew to say, I'm still in business, y'all, and pay a fee. For example, in the state of Florida, we have to file once a month. It's a simple report that's done online. And basically, they just say, are you still in business? If you are, send us $150. And then you get to stay in business. And the reason for that is that you're staying on a list of businesses that are registered with the state. And you do want to have that legal presence that you are a legal entity and are registered with the state. And that's another reason why you don't want to just do these off the cuff kind of business pop-ups and all that stuff. You can do a pop-up, but it still needs to be legit, for lack of a better term. And so an LLC, the benefit there is that it's still private, meaning that you're not going to be able to go public and sell shares or anything along those lines. When you get that big and large, then you need to change your business structures and you go up a next peg in an S corp or in a C corp setting in and of itself. But for the purposes of this particular group, LLC and sole proprietor are the two that you really need to focus on. Then there is again, things having to do with taxes. Now, having said that, so those are your two. Which one really just kind of depends. What I typically start with individuals who are right out the gate is, let's do your sole proprietor first. And then when you're ready to and take you through your personal branding and get that going, and then let's then take it up a notch. And then when you're ready to launch your biz where you're going to have more exposure and you're going to engage with customers and do transactions, then it's time for you to take it up to the next peg of an LLC. Not to say that you can't go straight to LLC, you certainly can. I just like to give people opportunities where they have incremental steps for progress. And this is just a way in which to kind of ease into things. If you want to be aggressive and go, not a problem at all. So you have that to look forward to. Okay. If there's any questions, make sure that you do pop them into the comment box. I'll be happy to follow those through as well. Um, Another thing to think about is this is the other piece. In order for you to charge people, or even for you to open up a business account at a bank, which is the next thing. So you do need to have registered with the state by one of the two filings, sole proprietor, doing business as, or an LLC, because you need to have your E&I number. And your E&I number is the number. It's like a tax ID number that you will want to have so that you can then open up a business bank account. Now, I always say this. You'll hear me say it 10,000 times, 10,000 different ways. Keep your personal money and your business money separate. And in order to keep them separate, is for you to open a separate bank account. So I even tell people to go as far as open it at a separate, different bank. Don't bank at the same bank as your personal. Why? Because it's even too easy for you to flip money around. So I like to keep it like it's on a straight and narrow. So, but in order for you to open up a business banking account, you're going to need your EIN number. And so the only way you can get your EIN number is with the IRS is that you have to show that you were registered with your state agency. You see how this is all coming together? You cannot do one without the other. So you have to file with your state so that you can then apply for your EIN number so that that EIN number will allow you to get a bank account. All three are connected and you can't circumvent one with another. And so those are the reasons why it's always good to just start the right way. Now, hopefully you found this to be helpful. Now, I also wanted to just make sure here, give you an opportunity to really think about how you are entering into this space. And so what I'm going to next offer you guys as we start into our journey, let me just bring up the screen here. Let's get it here. So if anybody has any questions, pop them into the comments. Do you feel as though you're going to go into the sole proprietor lane, or do you see yourself kind of going into the limited liability and kind of going down that lane and setting it up? Let me know what your thoughts are with respect to that. And we'll get more into the doing business as part. Sometimes you could just do it as your name. If that's what you want to do, you can do it as a creative name, or as we like to call it, excuse me, there's another name. I can't even think of it right now. Why is that? Hold on one second. And the reason why you want to make sure you have a business name that nobody else has, obviously, but we could go into that in a little bit more detail on another day about how you're going to name your business, because a lot of that has to do with who your audience is and your intent, and it takes a little bit more time than what I will cover in today's session. But that being said, we are getting ready to embark in our growth journey. So what does that mean? We're going to have some learning opportunities. So I'm going to bring this up on the screen so you guys can get started. Let me see here. It's not Wednesday. And so here is our learning roadmap. This is what's coming up for winter 2021. And so what you see here is we're going to be offering an upcoming webinar. That's going to be next Wednesday February the 10th. I'll be putting more details inside of the Facebook group, but I did want to share with you this is what's coming down the road so that you don't miss out on anything. And so this is our learning series. This is where you're getting ready to basically start moving forward, making progress, taking action. Whether you are working full time or even part time, or maybe not working at all, and you've been teetering and moving forward, these are the action steps I'm putting forward for you to take action on. And so this is a learning opportunity. So next week, we're going to be starting off with basically getting ready with, are you ready to leave your 9 to 5? And so this is an opportunity for you to do some self-reflection, answer some critical questions to make sure that you are headed down the road and that you know what you know and what you don't know. Okay. And then we're getting ready to go and having a little bit of fun, because once you know that you're ready to go, then we got to get you crystal clear about your vision. And so I'm going to be offering a virtual vision board workshop. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to love it. And that's going to be happening February the 17th. That is in the evening. Hold on one second. Let me just double check my dates. I don't know what that means. Sorry, something popped up on my screen. Yeah, so we're going to do that. I'm looking at the 17th, and I might also do it on the weekend as well. Just having some conflicts, but right now, this Wednesday, the 17th in the evening is when we're looking to do the vision boarding workshop. So I'm hoping that you guys will participate in that. That is a fee-based seminar, so I do want you to be aware of that. It's not free, but the webinar, the Are You Ready 95, that one is free. The vision board is a workshop. Therefore, there is a fee associated with it. And then we're getting ready to go into our 5-day challenge, which is Write Your Biz Story 5-day challenge. Why is this important and why you don't want to miss it? It's just that every business has a story, and it's that story that's going to help you connect with your intended customers. And so we want to make sure that you get that story down pat, because that's the story that's going to carry into your personal brand and into your business brand. And so that's why we have it in that succinct order. So you're going to take that 5-day challenge. That's a freebie. And we're going to be entering in. Please, if you have friends that you know want to start a business, this is a great opportunity for you to do them together. And so each night we will be learning, and I'm going to challenge you with a task to carry out and complete. So at the end of 5 days, you're going to have yourself your biz story down to a T. And that's the purpose of that. Then we're going to be embarking on the personal branding boot camp. This is the Know, Like, and Trust 4-week boot camp. This is an opportunity for you to build your foundation. Every business is based on you, the business owner. And what a lot of people don't realize is that people don't buy the service or the product. They're buying you because you're attached to that. And so what is it about you alongside the service and the business that people are going to be willing to know you, to like you, and trust you enough to hand over their credit card, because that's what you want them to do. And so there's an opportunity for you to really get solidified in your personal brand. This is going to go with you having a website, doing your social media, doing your logo, everything, but from a personal branding perspective. And then all of that process, and even a little on the blogging side and writing. So do be prepared with all of those things. But that is what personal branding is all about. You'll get to take your story that you've been able to craft out of the challenge, and we're going to take that right into your personal branding. And then there is where you're going to really start to get your business engines rolling. And so I'm really, really excited to start that with you guys for our winter 2021 learning roadmap. So I'm hoping that each and every one of you that is a part of this group will participate. And then we're going to have some new members coming in as well. So I'm hoping to have a good turnout and looking forward to working with each and every one of you. So I hope that you found that to be helpful and getting excited about some of the things that are getting ready to head your way as you become transitioners from employee to entrepreneur. That is what this space is all about. And so if you were here for any other reason, I don't know what you're doing, but this is what we're here for, and it's to get you moving from an idea and a dream to a reality and taking actions in order to do so. So I'm really looking forward to supporting you as your GPS, what I like to call myself, as the guide to progress and success, and be your coach and your guide on the side. So this is Dr. Yam. I am your Keep It Simple coach. Think about which one of those build business types do you feel, and we're going to circle back into this, you don't have to make any decisions right away, but it's certainly just something to really, because a lot of people always ask, how do I start, what do I have to be legal, and it's like, this is the number one thing. And so I'll take you through all those steps as well, and I'll even share with you a link so that you can figure out if that's a process that you want to do yourself, or there's a fee base, there's a service that's out there that will help to do it for you if you want to, as well. So I'll drop that link inside of the group as well. But think about it. Sole proprietor, LLC, which one? I hope I got that answered for you today. So until next time, this is Dr. Yam. I am your Keep It Simple coach for the busy 9 to 5ers Hive, and let's get busy. I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.